time to duel. It's time to duel. It's time to Now's the time.
Hey YouTube, Matt here, bringing you the second profile from this week. This time it's Sam's profile. Say hi.
Hello.
This time he took dragons because he went slightly meta, and he ended up getting to top 8, so he did quite well this week, and we had something like 20 players, so that's not bad. So, getting on with the deck profile, we have the dragons, so 3 Tidal.
Tidal's bad.
It's not so bad anymore. Yeah, this is Mythic Dragons, by the way. 3 Redox, 3 Blaster, 3 Tempest, they do things. Then the Mythics, 2 Tree Dragon and 2 Water Dragon. So I basically put this build together. Sam sort of tweaks it for his playstyle a little bit. I felt, looking at other lists, that 2 of each Mythic Dragon was fine. How did you find them?
I found it... I think I would have preferred 3 copies of the Water Dragon and maybe 1 or 2 of the Wooden Dragon. Because basically it works along with Scrap Dragon, and also if I was able to get hold of a Montage Dragon, that's another level 8 target for it to go with.
Okay, and then we have the tuners. We've got the Dragoonity tuners, 1 Corsica, 1 Branderstock. I don't have 2 Corsica, Branderstock does the job, so yeah, it doesn't matter. The 1 Flemvale Guard for the blaster target and the extra tuner. Then the 2 Debris Dragon. Debris Dragon's not really played in Mythics, but because we don't have Dragossack currently, we decided, well, initially I had 1 Debris Dragon, but Sam decided to pump it up to 2 with a few of his changes. But Debris is still fine, and I presume it put in work.
Yeah, it did, mainly for the XYZ option with the Mythic Wooden Dragon, or Mythic Tree Dragon, I need to remember that.
Yeah, tree.
Because it makes rank 4 players within the deck. I didn't go for the best choices at rank 4, and I probably could have gone for a couple more over the rank 8s. But still, I put Crazy Box and Gaga Cowboy, and they helped me through a couple of the games.
It's like, if we had one, we would have put a Queen Dragon Djinn in, because obviously that's amazing for this deck, but we currently don't have one. Then, for a couple of other Debris targets, we have 1 Kidmodo Dragon, which we were playing over the Trigon. Personally, I think Trigon's fine. It's a blaster target. You're hardly ever, if ever, going to use its effect. At least with Kidmodo Dragon, it's an Earth. You can ditch it with Ravine. You can pull it back with Debris, and its effect is fairly decent. So overall, it's a very well-rounded card. And
yes, a couple of times I didn't really have the right hand to control the field. So I just set the Kidmodo Dragon, let it die, and special summoned a dragon for the turn, just to block the rest of the damage that they would do for the turn. Then it would bounce back to my hand during the end phase, so I got the same hand as what I had before.
So it effectively ended up being a free defense.
Yes.
Cool. Then we had 1 Card Trooper.
Didn't see it.
No, that's a lie, you saw it once.
Okay, I saw it once.
And I think you got the draw off it as well. Well, no, it was Ballard that Scrap Dragoned it. I don't remember. Why did we put Card Trooper in? We put it in over something that we didn't have.
I don't remember, but again, it's Card Trooper. If I'd seen it more often, I probably would have said keep it in. But the fact that I only saw it the once, and I actually don't remember that.
So it's like, when we were talking on the bus on the way back, we were thinking that we'll probably switch this trooper for either a second Kidmodo or maybe a Trigon just to get the extra blaster target. Then some of the one-offs, we had the 1 Scarecrow, which I know you saw at least once.
I saw it a couple of times.
So, yeah.
And I did tend to side it out game 2 and 3 because it's kind of awkward with the balance within the deck.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of Earths in this variant. Then we have the Troll cards, because it's Sam and he can't stick to full goddamn meta. So, number 1 is Meteion the Time Lord. He did have, actually, some retarded reasoning behind it, but it kind of works, and the reasoning is such.
Basically, there was this old theory that I played with Crystal Beasts, that you can have that as your normal summon for the turn, and you can still have multiple special summons within that turn. So you'd be able to bounce the things back to hand once you attacked with what you've special summoned, then the Meteion, and then you can bounce all the resources back to your hand to play them again either in the same turn or later in the turn. And also inflict the additional burn damage.
Did that come off?
No.
No.
The couple of times that I saw it, I got it quite early game. But when I did get it, they were pressing for early pressure, like against the Mermails. I had stopped the OTK with the Swift Scarecrow, and then the next turn I used Metallion and bounced their 3 monsters back to hand.
Okay, and the second troll card, with no reasoning behind it at all, is...
Arcana Force. Is it a light rule?
I can't remember, that's why I went silent. It is Arcana Force X, the Light Ruler.
Basically, it's you tribute 3 to special summon it. It's like if I get a debris, a dragon, and whatever I pull with debris, I can get the special summon of that. And if I get heads, what do I do?
Heads, when this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, you can add 1 card from your graveyard to your hand.
And if I get tails, it's protected from things like Lance, Prison by losing 1,000 attack and defense. And as it starts off at 4,000,
That's perfectly fine.
that's perfectly fine.
Okay, that's the monster count.
The only time I summoned it, I would put myself under skill drain that I was in the side. But still, a 4,000 beta, it's going to get through things.
Okay, moving on to the spells, we've got the 3 Ravine. For me, this is the key card of Dragons. We were, again, talking on the bus when we come back. I said that if Ravine goes off and stays on the field for 1 turn, 90% of the time, you're going to damn lose. Because this allows far too much setup, and especially with Dragoonity Tuners, you've got search power as well. And I think this is far too powerful for the deck. It makes it way too consistent.
See, that's why I say either ban it outright or put it to 1. Yes, it will hurt the Dragoonities that play it, but Dragoonities in itself is a degenerate deck because it only does 1 thing.
Yep. Then we've got the 3 Seven Swords. Whereas this does a similar thing for consistency for Ravine, I don't think it's as overpowered, so I think this staying at 3 is perfectly fine. It becomes a +1, but so many cards are +1s nowadays, it doesn't bloody matter. So then we move on to the more stapley things. We have the single Dark Hole and the single Book. Then the 2 MST.
I didn't run it at 3 because I ran out of space and played it at 41 anyway.
Then moving on to the traps. This
Win
is a
button.
thing.
Win button.
This is a thing. And he was sad. Well, not sad. What do you say? Remorseful?
That would do.
That'll do. Every time he played this, and including the whole day just using the deck, he felt dirty using the deck and using this as a win button, effectively. We didn't have the second win button, but we still had one of them. Then the 2 Emptiness. How did these go?
They normally died before I got a proper chance to use them.
Fair enough. Then the 2 Phoenix Wing Blast. How did those go?
About how I expected them to. When I drew them, I had a dragon. They put something to the top and knocked out a draw for a turn.
Cool.
I would just do the same play again when it came back.
It's like another thing... No, there was 2 things I forgot to put in the deck, wasn't there? It's like I was going to put Trap Stuns in this deck after seeing what happened to Miles at the WCQ, and it's like all of the players that have messed about with Dragons at locals have tried Trap Stuns and they've been really good. I just totally forgot. And I think there was another card I was going to put in, but that may have been what the Trooper was put in for.
No, you were planning to put a terraforming in. Because
Oh yeah, that's the other one.
Because you said the field was that important.
Yes. Moving on to the extra deck, we have the 1 Ancient Fairy. In this variant, you don't need the 2 Ancient Fairy, plus we don't have the Dragossack to go for the loop, because in this variant it would actually be possible to go Dragossack Felgrand using the same loop, but we don't have the Dragossack, so there's only 1. So this is mainly for the mirror to kill someone's Ravine, gain 1,000, and search your own.
I didn't summon it at all, because I didn't ever have the debris when I had the Komodo or the Trooper engrave. So I didn't make this, and I didn't make the Black Rose either.
But then you did have, in the mirror against Bala, Bala made this against you, tried to activate effect, then you chained MST to your own Ravine, didn't you?
Yeah, I MST'd my own Ravine so he wouldn't get his effect. Because
Hence us saying, Ravine, super important, don't let the thing happen. So, there's the Rose that Sam was on about. Then for the 8s, we have the one Colossal Fighter.
yeah, I summoned that basically to counter my opponent's Colossal Fighter. Because I didn't have an out really at that point, and then he was asking questions about the infinite loop, trying to stall for time. He wasn't doing that, but it's always a question you can ask. That causes an infinite loop if both players decide to keep bringing it back in attack.
If you want to know the answers to that question, effectively, if you let that infinite loop happen trying to waste time to go into time to effectively win, you'll just get DQ'd, so don't even try it. Then we have the single Scrap Dragon.
Very good.
The single Stardust.
Made it once.
Obviously, over here at the moment, because we're in shitty Europe TCG, we don't have Spark Dragon, so we're stuck with Stardust at the moment. Then the one Star Eater.
Very good. I think I went for game against Watts when I summoned it. I think I had one other opportunity where I could summon it, but at that point I can also choose a level 8 to go into, because I normal Debris, Special to Dragon and pulled a level 1 tuner. So I had the options depending on how they reacted to it.
Okay. Would you be tempted to bump this up to 2, because one of our initial builds did have 2 Star Eaters in them?
I think for the more purer build, it's better. But for this build, I would probably keep it at 1.
Okay. Moving on to the Exceeds. So at rank 4, we have the 2 mentioned earlier. We have the Cowboy and the Crazy Box.
Yep, Crazy Box is fun. Both times I rolled 5, killed 2 things.
Nice. Then at rank 7, we have the Big Eye and the Master of Blades.
The Big Eye I don't believe I made. And the Master of Blades I went into once, because I believe in time I needed to do 2,700 damage to win. No, 2,600 damage. So Big Eye wasn't quite enough, so I went into Master of Blades instead.
Yeah, I remember that. Then at rank 8, we have the Felgrand.
Very, very good.
And in fact, wasn't this the only rank 8 you went into all day?
Have a quick look at the rest. I went into Tachyon Dragon once.
And then
That's it.
And then also, we do have a Dragolon somewhere, which should have been in the deck, but we can't find it right now.
But also, I don't believe I probably would have gone into Dragolon in any of the situations that I could have made it. I would have just gone into this, and if it was just by itself, I would have just left it on the board, because it can protect itself for 2 turns.
Yep. 90% of the time you are going to be going into this. Dragolon's sort of a backup to Felgrand, because you often don't run 2. Mainly because you don't normally need to run 2. So then, we went a bit overkill on the 8s just because we had space, because we're poor and don't have expensive cards. So, this happened.
Googly-eyed Run Dragon. A 4,000 beta, if you detach material from it. So, it would have done the same as the Tachyon Dragon did. But I prefer to go into Tachyon Dragon because it just confuses people as well as me.
Okay, then we had number 40, Gimmick Puppet of Strings.
Again, 3,000 attack, and its effect is interesting because it puts counters on everything and then kills it during your opponent's end phase. So yes, it does give them an opportunity to use what has the counters on so they don't take the burn damage. But you know something is probably going to go with its effects, and they'll take 500 or 1,000 damage from it or something like that. So the theory behind it was decent, but I didn't get the opportunity to make it.
And then the final card is the Tachyon Dragon.
Yes. Made it against Colossal Fighter, then the same thing happened.
Okay, then finally to the sideboard. This is actually less random than you made out it to be, except for that bit. So we have 2 Kaiku.
Yep, basically against dragons, stop them from banishing.
2 DD Crow.
basically against dragons, banish their target.
2 Chaos Hunter.
Basically against dragons, as long as they don't summon Blaster or Tidal. If they go Tempest or Radox, that is fine to special summon, because then they can't go for anything else within that turn, but Tidal and Blast would just run over the top of it.
And didn't you side all 6 of these in the WCQ when you were using Madoljo?
Yes, I sided them all in against dragons.
And it got you the... Did it get you the win?
Yes,
No.
I won against dragons.
Yeah, you did win against dragons. Okay, I'll group these as a 4. So we have 3 skill drain, and then the first random thing.
Basically, I thought the issue of the deck is if your opponent gets something that's over 2,800 or is equal to it, it's going to be an issue to get rid of. So I went for skill drain basically for the rogue decks, because skill drain can stun them, and then Barbaros would just smash over the top of them.
What did you normally side out to put the Barbaros in? Did you side out a dragon, or did you leave those alone? So, like, did you side...
I left out the dragons. I normally took out one of the Dragoonities, one of the Debris. I think I took out the Card Trooper and the Arcana Force.
Yeah.
So basically I took out the tech cards and put them in.
Mm-hmm. Then, the more random side, we have Staple Trap, strangely enough. We have 1 Warning, 1 TT, 1 Bottomless, and 1 Compulse.
I sided in the Bottomless against dragons, and I also sided again the Warning a couple of times. So I probably could have quite easily have mained the Warning, just because it's versatile and also won't get in the way of the win button.
I personally am sort of iffy about Warning. It's like this happened formats ago when I was switching between like Judgment and Warning. It's a good card, life points don't matter so much nowadays, but the fact that the meta now is spam, 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 boss monsters aren't so much the thing, but if this does stop a boss monster it's good, so it's still kind of worth running.
So it's more about you need to know the right timing to play it and hope to God your opponent doesn't have something else.
Yeah.
Or you just lose the game off the back of warning the wrong thing.
Okay, thanks for watching this profile, and see you later.